What if I told you that two little girls, daughters of a billionaire, were living in complete darkness, hidden away from the world, forgotten despite their father's endless wealth? And what if the only person who uncovered their miracle was not another millionaire, not a powerful politician, but a humble single-dad veteran, carrying his own scars of war and struggle? Stay with me until the end, because this story is going to touch your heart in ways you don't expect. And if you believe in hope, in second chances, and in miracles where love is the greatest wealth of all, then make sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories that inspire. It began in a sprawling mansion on the edge of the city. To outsiders, the billionaire Richard Hale had everything: power, respect, influence, and fortune that could buy nearly anything on earth. But behind those tall iron gates, behind the glimmering chandeliers and marble halls, two little girls lived hidden from the world. Emma and Grace, his twin daughters, had been born with a rare condition that left them blind. Instead of embracing them, Richard's grief twisted into shame. He locked them away in the farthest wing of the mansion, away from the media, away from guests, away even from the sunlight that streamed through the grand windows of the house. Their world was silence, whispers, and the sound of footsteps fading down long hallways. They had caretakers, but never love. Tutors came and went, but never stayed. At night, the girls would whisper to each other, clutching hands, dreaming of a day when they might know what the outside felt like: the warmth of the sun, the laughter of friends, the joy of being seen not as broken, but as whole. On the other side of the city, James Walker, a single dad and former soldier, lived with his little boy, Ethan. James had given his best years to serving his country, and though he returned home a hero, he carried wounds both visible and invisible. His wife had passed away while he was deployed, leaving him to raise Ethan alone. Life wasn't easy. Money was tight, and the burden of fatherhood weighed heavy, but James never let his son feel unloved. Every day, he poured his strength, patience, and heart into Ethan's life. One morning, fate drew James and the billionaire's hidden daughters together. James had taken a temporary job as a groundskeeper at the Hale mansion, a position most men overlooked, but for him, any honest work was worth it if it put food on the table. While trimming hedges one afternoon, he heard faint laughter, soft, delicate, almost like a song carried on the wind. Following the sound, he found himself near a neglected part of the mansion. A cracked window was slightly ajar, and through it, he heard voices, two little girls telling stories to each other. "Do you think the stars are real?" one asked. "I think they're just lights people imagine," the other replied. "Maybe someday we'll know." Something in their words pierced James's heart. Later, when he asked a fellow worker about the voices, the man shook his head. "Best you don't get curious. Those are the boss's girls. Nobody talks about them." But James couldn't ignore it. Over the next weeks, he found reasons to work near that part of the mansion. Slowly, he began to speak to them through the window. At first, Emma and Grace were shy, unsure if they should answer. But James's voice carried warmth, the same tone he used with Ethan when tucking him into bed. Soon, they were telling him stories, asking questions about the world outside, and laughing in ways they hadn't in years. One day, James brought Ethan with him. The twins were hesitant, but when Ethan started telling them about his adventures in the park, about riding a bike, about feeling the rain splash on his face, their laughter returned, brighter than ever. A bond began to grow, one built not on pity, but on shared humanity. James didn't see two broken girls. He saw courage, curiosity, and life burning inside them. When Richard Hale discovered James's presence with his daughters, his fury was swift. He stormed into the room, his voice booming, demanding James be fired immediately. "You don't understand," he shouted. "They are my shame, my curse." But for the first time in years, the girls did not shrink back. Emma, her small hands trembling, spoke up. "Daddy, he listens to us. He sees us. Why can't you?" That moment hung heavy in the air. For Richard, it was like a blade to the heart. He had spent years drowning his pain in wealth, hiding the truth, afraid of judgment. But now, hearing his daughters' voices, firm, pleading, alive, he could no longer deny what he had stolen from them: the chance to live. It wasn't an easy change. Richard fought his pride, his fear, his shame. But James did not walk away. He visited, he spoke, he showed the billionaire that blindness was not darkness, it was simply another way of seeing. With time, Richard began to lower his walls. He allowed James to take the girls outside for the first time, to let them feel the sun on their faces, the grass beneath their feet, the wind in their hair. The twins laughed, twirling barefoot